We are getting ready here for the College Women's Distance Medley Championship of America presented by On in memory of Jim Tuppeny. We have a fantastic race lined up for you. This is the event that I circled throughout the weekend, the one that I've been looking forward to the most. Some of the best women's distance program in the NCAA are about to do battle here. We'll have the returning indoor championships, Stanford, joined by Notre Dame, Oklahoma State, Georgetown, Duke, Virginia, Penn State, Villanova, Indiana, Iowa State, Providence, Richmond, and Boston College. What I'm really excited for in this race is the anchors. We might see some spectacular anchor legs. We'll get to enjoy the drama first with the 1200, 400, and 800 legs as they set things up. But there are some ringers here on the anchors. Stanford, they have returned their entire team from NCAA indoors. They have never won this event at the Penn Relays. They have brought the best team in their history here today. That's Melissa Tanaka, Maya Valman, Roisin Willis, and Juliet Whitaker on the anchor. They will challenge Notre Dame. Notre Dame was third at indoors in this event. They bring Katie Thronson, Eve Belsario, Caitlin Ryan, and watch out for that anchor leg, Olivia Markovic. She's got a killer close for the Irish, and she has had a great season. Opened up with a fast 5K at Raleigh, closed that out in 65 seconds, and she is not someone you want in your rearview mirror as you near the end of this race. Oklahoma State currently in the lead. That's Savannah Auerbach. She ran 2:05.4, 4:39 this season. Third Big 12s in the 1K. I love seeing 1K runners in the 1200. That's a great event, somewhere between that 800, 1600. This is really the only time these distance runners get to run the 1200 meters. So it's kind of an odd event for some of these women trying to figure out how they measure the effort. But right now, Auerbach has no fear as she is going to the lead, and you see Thronson of Notre Dame behind her. Farther back, you see the Tracy's spectacular distance program at Providence time and time again impresses, but watch Melissa Tanaka. She's sitting in fourth place. That Stanford jersey is the one to watch. They are the returning champions. Keep your eye on them throughout the festivities, but we were talking about anchors. Taylor Rowe of Oklahoma State is an absolute weapon on their anchor, and I am so excited for that. Also, do not sleep on Duke's team. Right now they have Emily Cole, the influencer, starting it off for Duke, but they have Amina Matug closing it out, a stud for Duke. Just absolute fireworks here on the anchor.
Yeah, this is going to be a great battle. Arkansas, Oklahoma State. Every leg matters, but...
No Arkansas on
I'm
this
sorry,
one.
not Arkansas,
Stanford.
I mean, I misspoke, but Stanford, of course, such a powerhouse in those middle distance events.
Tanaka running on her home track in a way. She is a Penn transfer to Stanford, but look at Boston College. We didn't say much about them in the beginning, but they are going to the front. That's Catherine Mitchell for BC, who has decided to go to the front and is hammering. She might be able to hand off in the lead. BC was not a team that we had circled to really feature in the mix. They were not quite up there in indoor championships. We're looking at the big three of Stanford, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma State. But like you said in the 4x1, Trevor, line it up on the track, see who can win the race. It doesn't matter what you are on paper. You got to win on the day.
Well, and everybody reacts to the adversity a little bit differently, and that could be different kinds of adversity, but everybody lines up under the same sky, as we say. So everybody's dealing with the rain on this 400-meter leg. I like to say you can't really win the DMR on the 400 leg, but you can lose it on the 400 leg. So it is important, but it's all about holding your position.
Well, we have Maya Valman chasing for Stanford. She's chasing Sydney Segala of Boston College. Maya Valman, that name might ring a bell for you. Her dad is still the coach at Maryland. Valman, she does her best when it matters. Her PB in this event is from the DMR indoors when it took her to have a big leg to get Stanford into the lead, and she is already starting to close a little bit. But don't count out Notre Dame and Oklahoma State sitting farther back, but expect them to move up in the last two legs.
Yeah, Valman's father is Andrew Valman, and here she comes. Andrew Valman, not just the coach of Maryland, the world record holder on the 4x4 for the United States, Olympic gold medalist as well. They will hand off just ahead. And Stanford, as we expected, hey, they moved up. I thought they might just hold their position, but great leg for Maya Valman.
That was huge for Valman, handing off to Rosen Willis, one of the top 3 indoor 800-meter performances of all time. And you know, one of the other top 3 is waiting on the anchor, Juliet Whitaker. This is going to be very, very difficult for the other teams to come back. If they wanted a chance at Stanford, they had to take their shot early. BC did their best, but they have now faded to second, and Rosen Willis is running away from this field. But farther back, we have a nice little battle developing between Oklahoma State and Duke. 2 teams I expected to feature. We have a schedule to run for Oklahoma State was Bilajep Curry. I don't think that's her right now, but we have Lauren Tolbert now running for Duke. And Notre Dame is in the mix right there as well. You can't count them out with Olivia Markovic on the anchor. That's Caitlin Ryan running for Notre Dame, and they're trying to move up. Rosen Willis has the hard job. She has the lead. That's what you want for the team, but it's always harder to measure your effort when you are out front by yourself, especially in these conditions. It's really hard to get a feel, especially on an event like the 800 where you're riding that razor's edge.
Yeah, but if anybody can do it, I think that Willis can. I mean, so much success as a prep and just jumping immediately into the fray, winning the indoor national championship in the 800 meters in addition to that DMR. And I don't think she minds running alone. I think by this point in her life, she's probably used to running alone.
She's won enough races up front. You're right, the NCAA indoor champion. She is the class of the 800 in the NCAA, but Oklahoma State has snuck up into the second position. They're doing really well. And remember, we mentioned off the front, they have Taylor Rowe waiting on the anchor leg. You can never count Taylor Rowe out, especially in a kick. This will be very interesting. Juliet Whitaker, she's the woman taking the baton for Stanford, but she's going to have the weight of the world on her shoulders, knowing what's coming behind her.
Well, and another freshman. It's just unbelievable what these 2 middle distance stars have been able to do for Stanford, and just great teammates. But like you said,
that was
Oklahoma
a switch
State
for Oklahoma State. That's Jep Curry, who has had such a great season. She PB'd at Stanford, then won the 1500 on the same day. They decided to put her in the mile. She has been trending upwards. I love that tactics with the DMR of who do you put on which leg, especially between the 12 and the 16. They can go hand in hand. They've decided to go with the rising star, Jep Curry, versus the big name, Taylor Rowe. But watch out for her. And farther back in the field, you can see Olivia Markovic in the Notre Dame kit. AB on her shirt. She is a weapon back there for Notre Dame. Expect her to move up throughout this race.
This is the College Women's DMR Championship of America, presented by On Athletics and run in memory of Jim Tuppeny. National record, like we said, Villanova 10:48. That was set here. It's also the Penn Relays record, 10:48.38, all the way back in 1988.
That is still Juliet Whitaker up front. Jep Curry has not really done much with that second position. She's done a good job continuing to hold off that chase back, but I'm really interested to see what's happening in the back. Matug has decided to make a little bit of a move here for Duke, as is the athlete from Virginia. Markovic right now just biding her time, comfortable sitting on Matug. That's Margot Appleton for Virginia, who's the one making the brave move. But with 6 women in that chase pack, it is time to move now if they want the wheel, because Whitaker, let me tell you this, she is not going to come back easy. If you want to go get her, you have to chase her down now.
Whitaker, a true 800 runner. But Jep Curry has run 4:14 for the 1500. She was the mile champion indoors at the Big 12 conference meet.
Whitaker, you say a true 800-meter runner, and you're absolutely right. That is her event. Everyone was so surprised to see her on the mile leg for Stanford at the DMR, but when you come home with gold, no one's going to question your decisions, right? Whitaker did such a great job executing the mile at that event, and here she is again. Also lurking in the background, Stanford is chasing their school record of 11:11 set by Jessica Tan, Kristen Williams, Claudia Saunders, and that big name that we all know, Elise Cranny, pro runner for Bowerman Track Club, U.S. champ. They set that at Penn 2015. Remember, Stanford has never won this event at the Penn Relays. They entered one event this weekend. They brought 4 athletes, 1 event, and you are looking at it. Stanford put all their cards on the table and said, we are here for the women's DMR. And that's why they have Juliet Whitaker out front, trying to hold on to this lead for Stanford.
Well, and you see that sometimes. As great as the Penn Relays are, we sometimes see teams come out and say, we want to run as many relays as possible, get the experience. You'll have people running 2, 3, even 4 events maybe, throw in an individual event, a couple of relays. But like you said, Stanford here with a single-minded focus to take the victory for the first time at Penn in this DMR.
And let me tell you, partner, that gap has started to shrink just a little bit. Juliet Whitaker is doing a great job out front, but it's just easier to chase when you're in the chase pack, when you're working with people. Look at the Virginia athlete. That's Margot Appleton. We didn't talk much about her at the front, but she is another great closer for Virginia. Matug following her, Markovic following her. I've got to think that 3 women back there in the chase pack have a bit of an advantage, but they have so much work to do to catch Juliet Whitaker. Juliet Whitaker chased by Bilajeb Curry of Oklahoma State. Right now it is Virginia and Notre Dame, and Olivia Markovic has started to turn on the gas. She's going around the outside of the Virginia athlete. We have seen her close like lightning time and time again. Do not count her and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish out.
No one's catching Whitaker. She's a sub-2 minute 800-meter runner. Karui's no slouch, running 2:04, her best in the half miler. But Whitaker, the national high school record holder, the under-20 U.S. champion as well. Whitaker, Oklahoma State, they're going to finish strong, but I don't think anybody's catching Whitaker at Stanford here.
I think you're right. I think the early work by Melissa Tanaka to get them out front with Boston College. Maya Bauman did the work to put them back in the lead on the 400-meter leg. Roisin Willis showed why she is such a great 800-meter, putting Stanford into the lead, handing off to Juliet Whitaker, who is going to close this out and take Stanford's first ever victory in this event at the Penn Relays. Juliet Whitaker, on behalf of the Stanford Cardinal, a victory and school record.
Look at that, just outside that national record as well. 10:50.56 the final time. Stanford had one purpose, and they accomplished it.
Wow, what a race. When you send forward, when we talked about this with the Jamaican athletes, when you're sending athletes across the country or to another country, you want to see their best, and Stanford sure as heck got that done with a 10:50.56, one of the fastest times in Penn Relays history and a new school record. And the wheel, of course.
The hits just keep on coming, that's what we say.
And we are going to send it down to Olivia.
As you can see on the screen there, we're getting ready for another interview with Olivia Ekpone downstairs with our winners.
4 ladies, 1 event. Julia Whitaker, you anchored this DMR. You guys won the NCAA championships. What do you do after that, and especially with what was just kind of the goal going into today's race?
Yeah, you know, after nationals, we were ecstatic and so happy, and I think we just like kept making bigger and bigger goals, and like one of them was to win this, and we wanted it really badly. So leading up to it, we just like tried to keep our confidence from indoors, but also, you know, obviously bringing everything to every line that we step onto. That's what we tried to do, and we did.
Well, mission accomplished. And Julia, you've been here. We've seen you just run at the Penn Relays Carnival ever since you were in high school. So what does it mean to be back here as a Cardinal?
It means so much to you. Just I always know was hope for a college, and I feel so honored to be in it with them. They inspire me every day, and yeah.
So after today's performance, what is next for Stanford?
Tomorrow we have another race actually in California, so that's the closest up, and then it's just Pac-12s and regionals.
So, well, ladies, congratulations. Hayden and Trevor, back to you.
Wow.